Good to go?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I don't know if that's in a great location, if I'm honest.
Oh, okay. We fix it. Fix it every week.
Because I think this top's not ideal.
What's wrong with it?
Oh, it's just a bit whimsical. That'll do.
Stripes is whimsical.
No, it hasn't got much structure. It doesn't actually have a
Yeah,
collar.
it's Australian label.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, they use organic cotton and it's so like natural, and so it has like a very loose structure to it.
Okay, then.
Hello. Now we can stop talking about my top and talk about what you're making.
A classic.
What's a classic?
So we're making cottage pie. So there's cottage pie, shepherd's pie, technically different things, kind of the same thing. Cottage pie is beef with mashed potato. Shepherd's is lamb with mashed potato. Today I actually have a mixture of pork, lamb and beef. So let's call that a cottage pie.
But what's the pork with
I don't know.
mash version?
It was it's veal, sorry. Veal and pork and beef. So it's more a cottage pie. Anyway.
Okay. So
A few tips and tricks straight off the bat. I have some Sebago potatoes boiling in salted water to make our mash. We want Sebago potatoes or something that's good for mashing. We'll get those. Those have kind of been going for like 20 minutes. I'll probably get another 10. And then I've already sealed my beef off. I've probably got some B-roll of it here. So hot pan, a little bit of oil. You're gonna break it up into pieces, leave it in your pan until it's almost fully cooked through, and then you start breaking it up. When you're breaking it up, don't move your pan off the heat. Don't just like start mixing it all. Just break it up and down, and then start mixing it. Why? Because you want to keep the temperature in your pan. If you don't keep the temperature up, the temperature drops and then the meat starts to like stew or boil. It's what we don't want. However, I know some of you will not bother doing that step and you'll just dump it all in. And even though I wouldn't do that, I understand why. You're like, I'm in a hurry, we're Monday night, I just need to get this stuff done. If that's the case, I suggest you do it in like a deeper pot, like a casserole, like a Dutch oven or something. Get it really hot, just dump it in like you would, and then just leave it for like as long as like 10 minutes to get at least the bottom part, and then start breaking it up. But you should be doing it in batches so it doesn't boil, but you know, sometimes you can't.
What if it starts to stick?
It won't.
Okay.
If you do it in batches.
Because so much moisture comes out?
No, the opposite, because you're creating a crust, so you're drying it out so it won't stick. It'll stick when too much moisture does come out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's that done. That's the side. Now I'm just going to chop up our duck here all over me. Carrot, onion, and garlic. I'm just going to start with the carrot first. Get a little bit of heat going in here. So nice kind of newish carrot. I'm not even going to bother peeling that.
That's not on.
It's not on. Stay on.
There you go. Yeah, it's on.
It's on. So yeah, just diced carrot. So when you're cutting something round, cut a piece off and then roll it so you're on the flat surface. Now, with mirepoix or sofrito or whatever you're doing, stuff like this, you want it all to be roughly the same size, and that's so it cooks evenly. But it doesn't need to be perfect. This is a home cooking. Now, if you are an aspiring home cook or young chef or experienced chef and you want some practice cutting beautiful brunoise, so this is a perfect opportunity to do that. But if you're just a girl dad or a boy dad or a mum who's trying to get dinner on the table, just make sure it's roughly the same size. It doesn't need to be perfect. That pan's hot, so I'm going to quickly cut this. So then when we're cooking or like sealing the stuff off, you want to start with your densest vegetable first. So we're going to start with carrot, and then we'll go to the onion, and then we'll do garlic last. Did you have this dish growing up, Caitlin?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was definitely a popular one. I mean, I don't know many kids that don't like shepherds or a cottage pie.
Nah, it wasn't like when Mum said, "Oh, we're having cottage pie," you weren't like, "Oh yes," but you also weren't like, it wasn't like when she said we're having veggie bake. Veggie bake was the worst.
I don't think we ever had veggie bake.
It was the worst.
No, we loved cheddar side. I must admit, we did add a little Tommy sauce to the top of it. I grew up in a tomato sauce family. You know, if you had mashed potatoes, tomatoes and sausages and greens, tomato sauce is going on a plate and you're mixing everything in with it. Broccoli with tomato sauce on it. It's fantastic.
Hey.
And then mashed potatoes with tomato sauce.
Through it?
Through it? Yeah, you mix it through it. So good.
That's wild.
And this was my favourite tea time snack, pre-dinner snack.
Frozen peas.
Frozen peas.
Yeah, the peas are controversial. Every time I put peas in a recipe, there's a lot of people in the
People
comments.
don't like peas.
I love peas. They're delicious.
They're kind of a nothing.
They're just they're
ingredient.
sweet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And do you always do mashed potato for this dish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a cottage pie without mash.
Okay.
I think traditionally it was made with leftovers. Like it wasn't made with minced meat. It was made with like leftover meat.
Okay.
Kind of, I guess, roughly minced up and chopped as opposed to, yeah. All right, kitchen hotline. What do you got for me?
First one,
Yep.
black garlic.
Yep.
How do you use it?
You can use it in a lot of ways. You can use it in dressings and like things like that, and sauces. Like make a compound butter is really good with it. But black garlic, for anyone that doesn't know, is like whole cloves of garlic that have been very, very slowly cooked for a very long time. So you can do it in like a dehydrator at like 60 degrees, like 7 days, and you can even use a rice cooker just on the warm setting for like 7 days. If you do make it, it will stink your house out like garlic. Okay. But it is delicious. But you can just spread it on toast because it will go completely black and like really soft. Becomes really sweet, full of umami. You can put it through stir fries or fried rice. Or make a compound butter, like I said before, to put on top of your steak. You can do it through sauce, so making like a red wine sauce. Use like black garlic through it at the end to add a nice sweetness.
Next question.
Next question.
Have you run into the woody chicken issue?
No. What does that mean?
So I Googled it. I
Yeah.
think they're from the US because they said, not sure if that's just a problem in the US, but any suggestions how to remedy if you're familiar. Woody chicken refers to breast meat abnormality in broiler chickens, resulting in tough, fibrous, rubbery, or woody texture caused by muscle damage from rapid growth.
Wow. No, we don't have that issue here in Australia. We also don't. What are they? Broiler chicken? Is that what it's called?
Broiler chicken.
I feel like that's like a roasting fowl, which is like a...
Is that a type of chicken, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah. They're white.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought it's not a roasting fowl. A roasting fowl is like a... it's a chicken that was used for eggs and then has since been retired, and then they use the meat for... no, we don't really have that issue here.
Okay.
I'm guessing just do like slow cooked chicken dishes as opposed to like grilling it and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a suggestion for a video at some point.
Okay.
You have mentioned before that you're not a fan of soup. Not really. You don't
Not a
really.
fan of ordering soups out, no.
Yeah. You like a broth. You like a noodle soup, but
Yeah, but we had that discussion in the video over the weekend. It's not. At what point does a soup noodle become a not a soup? I said my argument is that once it's 60% solid and 40% soup, it's
then
not
what do you
soup
call
anymore.
it? Noodles.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not. I mean, I guess technically it's soup noodles. So maybe I'm wrong, but
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I'd love a video on the main channel where followers get to suggest soup recipes and you try them to find the soup that you love ahead of Australian winter.
don't know about that.
You don't want to eat a whole heap of soup?
Not really.
We could get some really we could do it on here. We get some really interesting soup suggestions.
Okay. Well, you guys suggest it. We'll do it on here. You suggest the
Okay.
soups,
Tell us your favourite soups.
and then we'll make some, and then we'll show you the one that we like the most, that I like the most. But
Yeah.
it can't be French onion or oxtail soup.
You do like those
I do
soups?
like those soups.
Yeah.
So onion, carrots, onions, garlic, sauteed, a little bit of colour, starting to soften, chopped up rosemary, tomato paste or puree, depending on where you are in the world. Cook that off a little bit. It's getting a bit dry in my pan here. I try not to use too much oil because it's We just don't want to introduce heaps of fat. But if it does start drying out, don't be afraid to add a little bit more.
Very rosemary.
Smells very rosemary-like, doesn't it? Okay, we're going to add our meat back in. Stir that through. Probably should use a slightly bigger pan. That's okay.
Might just get a little bit messy.
No, we'll just be careful. All-purpose flour. If you are a celiac or someone in your family is a celiac, skip the flour, obviously. Thicken with cornstarch once your stock is in and boiled. Take like a tablespoon of cornstarch, mix it with a little bit of water, and then stir that through.
Okay.
For my celiac homies out there. So we're trying to cook this flour out a little bit before we add the stock. What else you got for me, Caitlin?
Just making that note for the recipe. Okay, next one. How many times have you had food poisoning?
Oh, not that many.
Are there any foods you're especially careful of cooking or ingredients you're careful with cooking with now?
Not really. I mean, just the standard. I make sure I take my chicken to 62 degrees before I take it off. I feel like chicken's gotten a lot better though, especially in Australia, maybe not in the States after that last comment. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like they've almost, I might be talking out of turn here, but like bred salmonella out of chickens. I could be wrong. In fact, I probably am wrong. It's not scientific advice. But yeah, no, not really.
Okay. You're careful with seafood and how long it's left out?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, be careful with all protein, then how long it's left out, right? And if it's, even like beef mince, right? Like it's, like if it's, you don't leave it out and keep it in the fridge, keep it nice and cold, it'll be fine.
What about rice? Because everyone says
yeah,
you cook
rice
it,
is
you
the
need
most.
to cool it down before you put it in the fridge.
Yeah, I mean, you just need to make sure it's cool quickly because Worcestershire sauce, very important. Yeah, rice is dangerous. Rice, if you don't have rice in the fridge for more than sort of 2 or 3 days, otherwise can get naughty. I think most people, I think rice kills more people a year from food poisoning than any other, than chicken or anything. Be careful with your rice. Yeah, I think because of it just attracts bacteria and the bacteria grows really quickly on cooked rice.
Right.
So yeah, there's nothing wrong with saving rice, but make sure it does cool down quickly. Make sure it stays nice and cold, and use it within sort of 2 or 3 days.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, so Worcestershire sauce, bay leaves, and then this is my special trick. I didn't invent this, but this is what I do. A little stock cube, and all it does is just kind of boost the meaty flavours. I like chicken stock cube, believe it or not. I find the beef gets a bit much. But yeah, this is like really common, a technique that's really common in a lot of different cuisines. From like Vietnamese, they use like chicken bouillon a lot in their, even in their stocks and stuff. Like European nonnas will use, there's like, it's called I forgot what it starts with V. Someone will let me know in the comments. Which is basically like a, it's got MSG in it normally.
So you're just breaking it up?
Just break it up. You don't have to be too particular about that. It will break down. And then we'll let that simmer. Now, this is fantastic. You could make this in the morning, put it in a slow cooker and leave it there all day, really slow and low, just to kind of cruise along. You can make this and just do like we're going to do here. We're just going to cook this for probably going to speed it up a bit. I think in my recipe I say leave it for 30 to 40 minutes. We'll probably just let this simmer for like 20 minutes, whatever. Depends how much. Like that's perfectly safe to eat now. The longer you cook it, the more the flavors start to develop and stuff. So, yeah, choose your own journey.
Okay. Would you like another question?
Yeah, love a question. Yeah.
Best tips for cooking liver.
Liver, cook it fast and hot, and make sure it is fresh, because if it's not, it will taste a bit freaky.
Okay. We chatted about merch in.
What merch?
I think products. Not last episode, the episode before maybe.
Yeah.
And so someone left a comment, can my family buy me a stunning stubby holder for my birthday?
Sure. Sure.
Is there stubby holders in the product shop?
No. No, I don't drink beer. But shout out to Ash. Ash, you know who you are. You're the person that I got stunning from. So.
Ash
from Kilcoy.
Oh, okay.
When I started working with her. She
Really?
Yeah. And then I stole it off her, and she was always giving me grief for that.
Okay.
So I think she watches these videos too. Okay, potatoes are cooked. Just going to pull those out, and then we'll mash them. I'm going to use a fancy ricing masher, but you can just use a normal hand masher. It's fine as well.
Okay.
Just going to borrow this so I don't make a mess. Hit me.
I often have leftover roasted legs of lamb. Any recipes I can put it in? What's good?
Shepherd's pie. Dice up your lamb, do the same thing, job done. Make a pie out of it, make a stew out of it, make a soup out of it.
Oh yeah?
Make stir fry out of it, chop it up, and then, stir fry or fried rice. Lamb's one of those weird, I'll happily eat cold steak. I won't eat cold lamb. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, the fat kind of solidifies really hard, and it's not particularly nice to eat. Ugh.
Mussels.
Mussels.
I've noticed when you cook in high-end establishment that it's precise, disciplined, and highly presented. How does this differ than when you cook at home for friends and family or Caitlin?
I think I've kind of just, there's a lot of examples already. It's here today, right? It's like, I'm not spending as much time making sure that my diced veggies are absolutely perfect. If I was to cook a shepherd's pie in a fine dining restaurant or any restaurant, I'd be very particular about making sure that all my meat was very well browned and seasoned off and broken up, so this was all even one texture. It's just those little attention pieces to detail, right? And I'm very aware that I think sometimes I've gone a bit hard online in the past with specific techniques, and it's people are home cooks, right? They're just trying to get food on the table for the family. And I think there's room for both, right? If you're a passionate home cook and you actually want to do restaurant quality food, there's nothing wrong with that as well. But more often than not, most people are just trying to get dinner on the table. And my mission is just to try and help people improve that a little bit. It doesn't need to be perfect. So yeah, just the little details, right? Little things matter in the restaurant world, and most professional worlds, really. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Oh, it's quick.
It's quick.
And that was, you don't put anything through that?
Yeah, there's butter in the bottom of that.
Okay.
And then we've got a little bit of milk, seasoned with salt. And if you're going to put pepper, I'd put white pepper. Here you go. That's a chefy trick. That's a restaurant trick. Why do you use white pepper, Caitlin?
I don't know.
So you don't see it as much. If you use black pepper in there, you're going to see lots of specks. White pepper, you won't see it.
Tricky.
Tricky. Okay. Mix that through. Also, it doesn't need to be perfect. I did a video, must be a while ago now, talking about the perfect mash. And that offended a lot of people.
That was a restaurant style of mash.
It was a pommes puree.
Puree. Smooth.
It's very smooth. Run it through a drum sieve. That's how we make, and that's a great example, right?
That was so funny.
In a restaurant, we would make mash like this, and then it'd be almost 50% butter and milk, and then the rest is potato. And then we'd run it through a drum sieve to make sure it was super silky smooth. Man, it pissed a lot of people off. A lot of English people were not happy about that.
I think a lot of Australian people.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I think Australian
English
people just got in there and in on the joke, and there was lots of comments around it being mash for nursing homes and
Prove the mash.
Potato soup.
Potato soup. Okay, bay leaves out. Into a oven dish. Oh, my oven's a little on. That's bad. Cook by function. So fan bake 180. Done. And that goes. Got any other questions for me, Caitlin?
Yeah. Someone is a paramedic and they struggle with breakfast and lunch on the go, and it's very difficult to get decent food on the road.
Yeah. Tough job too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, any quick, easy recipes that are good for lunches and breakfast that you could, or could you do a video on it? Lots of video suggestions today.
Sure.
Breakfast is hard. I think I struggle with
hard, yeah.
easy, quick breakfast.
I have the same breakfast every day. I'm really naughty. I have like a smoothie.
And I think quick savoury breakfast.
Yeah, I think there's the whole. I've never done it, but there's that whole like breakfast burrito in the freezer trend.
Yeah.
Which I think would work pretty well. Yeah. Let me have a think about it. I don't want to promise anything.
Okay.
But thank you for the work you do. It's very hard work. It would be a very stressful job.
Yeah. Do you know what's actually trending at the moment, breakfast-wise? It's Japanese breakfast.
What is a Japanese breakfast?
So you have your miso soup,
Yes.
and then you have 3 sides. You have some sort of, like you have salmon, you have veggies, you have some salmon, and you have rice, and then you have, you forgot the peas.
I've got the peas. We'll put those back. Add the peas right at the end.
No peas in this one.
No peas in this one.
And then like some
The
pickled,
pea haters will be happy.
pickled veg.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's quite a spread, but I think everything's almost prepped beforehand, so you're just putting it
Together.
on your plates, yeah.
Yeah, right.
What is the best way to keep food warm before serving?
It depends which oven space you got. The best way is if you've got like a modern oven that will control humidity as well, is to like in like the warming function of your oven. Yeah, if your oven's a bit older, and just to like have it on the lowest temperature, then turn it off before you put the food in. That's the best way, really.
For all food, like steaks and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, the tricky thing with steaks is that it's gonna even at like the lowest temperature of your oven, it's gonna keep cooking your steak. So I wouldn't stress. I'd just rest it out and then just flash it again right before you serve it.
Okay.
But something like this, yeah, just keep in your oven at like 60 degrees. No worries, no buenos.
So that's it for the cooking questions.
Okay.
So we have a couple of non-cooking questions.
Oh.
So someone said F1 cooking hotline question.
F1 cooking hotline, sure.
What do you think about the new regulations?
Oh, look, it's been a hot topic. It's I'm on two minds. I think every time there's like major changes, every single time there's been major changes, the drivers freak out the first while, and then eventually it gets back up to. So I guess before the weekend's testing, I was probably more optimistic than I am now after the weekend's testing. It does feel a little bit like, Fernando Alonso coming out saying he's 50 k's an hour slower into that corner because he's having to save battery power feels like not like the racing that I'm that keen on watching. Feels like Formula E. But so look, time will tell. The starts will be interesting too. This new way that they're kind of starting, I think, is going to cause all kinds of dramas, but who knows? Mash on the top, make sure you've got an even layer and the edges are sealed. Put lots of dimples on the top, and that's just going to give you lots of crevices for yummy, crunchy things to happen when it goes in the oven. Panko breadcrumbs over the top also helps with the crunchy layer. We're going to put like half of them down. Then we're going to put the cheese, and then we'll put some more over the top as well. Anything else, Caitlin? Any more Formula One related?
No, that was the exact same question around Formula One. And then someone is staying in Melbourne CBD solo for 2 nights in April. Any breakfast or lunch recommendations?
So Cumulus is a restaurant that's been in Melbourne forever. I don't think they do breakfast anymore. They used to do really, really good breakfast, but it's definitely worth a little solo lunch date for sure. What's the Thai place called?
Which one?
The ones it's moved. It used to be in that car park.
Oh.
You might have to Google it. There's a fantastic Thai place. I think it's moved, but it's still around. That's really affordable and absolutely delicious.
Soy 38.
Soy 38.
SOI 38.
Butcher's Diner up the top of the Paris end. Really delicious burgers. Breakfast, I don't really know. So there's a couple of good bagel. I had a good bagel in there the other day. I think it was called Bagels Everything, maybe.
Okay.
That was pretty good.
Line up for a couple hours at Loon.
Yeah, go to Loon, maybe.
Or go early.
Go early, yeah.
They did just open up another one in the city, didn't they?
Yeah,
The other end?
Lonsdale, maybe.
Yeah. Where else do we love? Embla.
I mean, yeah, that's a lunch date, I guess.
Yep.
I'm trying to think about breakfast.
No, what was that one? Higher Ground? Was that
Higher
the city
Ground, yeah, that's at the bottom of the city.
Yeah.
Go over to South Melbourne, go to St. Ali. It's not that far away.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't go out for breakfast that much. Or if you do, you're going into more like cafes and suburbs.
Yeah.
But plenty of great lunch spots.
Okay, I've made a mess. That's going in the oven, 180 degrees, 35, 40 minutes, till it's lovely and golden brown. We'll hit pause and see you when it's ready. What? Okay, Caitlin,
Yes.
you tired?
No.
You were just yawning.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I remembered like halfway, well not, just after a few minutes in that, it's really a good idea to put a tray underneath. It saves your oven from getting destroyed because it bubbles over the side, but here we are. I'm actually just gonna do this. Look at that, golden brown delicious, that's what we call that.
Pretty.
Pretty.
Looks very good.
So I think it's worth checking pretty quickly after like 10 minutes after you put it in, see how it's going for colour. Because once these start getting colour, because of all the cheese, it'll get colour quickly, so you don't want to burn it. So pop it in at 180, check it after 10 minutes. If it's coming uneven, you can turn it down a little bit. The other thing I forgot to mention earlier is that it's a great thing to meal prep. So you could do it to the point before you put it in the oven, put the whole thing in the freezer and it'll be fine, right? And then, but when you want to use it, pull it out, leave it in the fridge for 24 hours and then shove it in the oven. I'd do it at like 150, 160 for a lot longer to make sure you get that big center of mass up to temperature before you start turning it up to get the color on top. But yeah, or you can make it on like a Sunday and just leave it in your fridge until, you know, Monday night or Tuesday night, or you could even probably leave it till Wednesday night if you really wanted to. Same thing, put it in the oven at like 160, but probably for like at least, or even probably put it in at 150 and start checking it after 35, 40 minutes, making sure it's hot in the center. It's probably gonna take an hour and 10 to get hot though. But we're going to do what YouTubers do now, and we're just going to get a thumbnail, and there's a fancy one that I want, which means I'm going to destroy it off camera. We'll roll cameras, but you might not be able to see it. So we'll be back. All right, thumbnail's down. Done?
Done.
Done.
Check.
Taste. Quite like the mixture of meat. It's good.
It's a really chunky bits. That's nice. Potatoes nice.
You gotta have that crunchy top. It's so important. All right. Thanks, legends. Let us know what soup you want in the bottom in the comments. And I won't make them. I will.
We'll pick one from your list. We'll see if he likes it. Okay.
See you next week. Needs peas.
Oh, I didn't want to say anything, but